Go ahead and open up for questions for Ira or Kofi. We'll start off with Joey Wagner. Lead off.
Hey, I'll start with you. There was a timeout there after Georgie hit a three-pointer, and we could really hear Coach Underwood kind of, implore you guys to rebound the ball. What was his big message, and how do you think he responded out of that?
Coach Underwood, he just emphasized us, playing harder, rebounding, and finishing the game off. I think we were down 2 at that point, and he was just saying it's 8 minutes left in the game. Come out here and give it your all. Come out here and play as hard as you can. We coming off of two road games and Rutgers and Penn State. Then we have practice, so our bodies really didn't get enough recovery. So he understood that, and he was just telling us to go out there and try to just play harder and give that extra gear.
And for Kofi, I guess, what is it about your team that you guys have the ability to dig in and find that extra gear late after, kind of a long road trip?
I would credit the veterans on that. Io, Trent, DeMonte. They do a really good job with coming in, like the approach, of coming out of the half. They do a really good job of coming out of the half and just getting us about just making sure that we're focused in, we don't slip up, make sure that we get ready to go, just put us in that right mindset. So I definitely credit Io, Trent, DeMonte for this, making sure that we're in the right state of mind and that we're always playing aggressive.
Okay, this question is for Io. Io, can you talk to us a little bit about the slow starts that you guys have had the last 2 games? You were down 19-4 at Penn State, and today you were down 1-0 for about 6 minutes to start the game with.
I don't necessarily think we had I think we had a slow start at Penn State. Well, I really don't think we were having slow starts. Definitely not today. I think today it was just a real evident Big Ten basketball. You coming out, you feeling your team out. I wouldn't say we feeling our team out, but we played had so many battles against them that it was like a heavyweight collision. So the first possessions, what they're running. They know we run, we know what they're running. And I think we got a lot of great shots. We just missed it, and the same for them. But it's the Big Ten. You see Indiana, their blocks and elbows. Every time you drive, they got someone to block an elbow. It's real cluttered in there. It's a old-fashioned Big Ten defense. That's why they're ranked number 11 in the country. So the more we moved them, and when the game got on, I thought that we did a great job of getting in there and finishing. But to start the game off, I just think that it was just the true definition of a Big Ten game.
Okay, thank you.
This question's for Kofi. Kofi, you guys held Trace Jackson Davis to a season low in points, and he didn't shoot that well. What'd you guys do so well defensively on him?
I just credit to the scout. Our coaches do a really good job of just digging in on scout and making sure we know the personnel and what they're capable of doing and what they like to do. So we're just about focusing and locking in, making sure I don't give him any easy shots. Challenge all of his shots, make him score over me. And my guys help me out a lot. They're digging in, us boxing him out. He's a really good offensive rebounder with his size and athleticism. It's just about keeping the body on him, making sure that he doesn't get any gifts, anything easy. And when he makes a move, just being there, wall him up, make him shoot over me.
And then Io, I think you had like 18 points in the last 9 minutes. What was working well for you?
Coach Underwood just told me to, be the best player in the country, finish the game off, and I just accepted this challenge, just came out there and just made the shots that I work on in the gym every day.
Io, how much ownership do you take in the second half, but especially in the last 9-10 minutes to lead your team when they needed you the most?
I just try to go out there and make the right play. The way I play basketball, I like the game to come to me. So sometime in the first half, if I go like 2-3 minutes without shooting, I'm fine with that because it's the way I play, the approach I have to the game, kind of how like Luka, LeBron, how they like to, get their team involved, let their teammates, get in the game, and then, I ease my way into the game. And then when it's time to finish, I know it's time to close. I know when it's time to, put the other team away, I come in and try to do that. I try to, impact the game, of course, rebounding, assist, just playing defense. So when it's time to win the game, I just try to put them away.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go Jeremy Werner or Scott Ritchie on deck. Go ahead.
This one's for Kofi. Kofi, what has Georgie meant to you guys, and what's he brought to you guys on the court this year?
Georgie just brings pure energy. He's a great person. He's really positive when it comes to games, practice. He gets us going with his voice and his energy. What he brings to the game, he brings a lot. He's very versatile. As you saw today, he's capable of shooting that three. Really great passer. And on the defensive end, he impacted the game like no other today. He was active, he was talking, and he stuck to the assignments. So he just brings a lot of help for us. A lot of physical help, a lot of mental help with just getting us going and just bringing his energy every day. And we feed off that energy that he brings. So he's all around great for us.
And then this one's for Io. Andre played a season high 30 minutes today. Just how is he fitting into what you guys do offensively and just creating some chemistry with all you guys?
He's fit in already. We're 10 games in. He's a part of our family. He's our brother. We each other's brothers. So he just go out there and I tell him to play our game. And he does a great job of that. Goes out there, competes. Has a great feel for the game and great IQ. So he's a great addition to our team.
Thanks.
Okay, Scott Ritchie, you're up. Kevin, and we'll see there, and Corey after that. Go ahead, Scott.
This one's for Io. I saw before the game you were working with Fletch a little more, just getting stretched out. Was that just a matter of kind of a busy schedule here the last week?
I try to. I wouldn't say. Well, yes, of course. We play, like I said, Rutgers, Penn State, traveling practices. Your body. That last day, that third day, be like one of those grind out days. But that's when I fall back on my work, all the work I put into, and I just try to, take care of my body. This basketball will take me as far as my body takes me, and I try to be very evident on that, important on taking care of my body. And Fletch, he's one of the best in the business, if not the best in the business, and not just Fletch, but Palmer. He does a great job of giving me shakes, recovery, smoothies whenever I need it. Anytime, any convenience, he's always there. Make sure we feel up. And then Fletch, he does a great job of just not only being there for my body, but he stresses and emphasizes the important things like stretching, hydrating, drinking a lot of water before games. And without him, I don't know if I really would be here. So I definitely want to thank him for, just being there for me, make sure my body feels good to come out here and perform.
And this one's for Kofi. Kofi, with Andre coming off the bench, does he just kind of bring a different rhythm to the offense sometimes, and maybe that spark you needed like today in the first half?
Yeah, definitely. Andre is a really gifted player. I tell him that every time I see him. With his ability to drive the ball and get by the defender and just make a play, create plays, and his ability to pass the ball is out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. And just coming off the bench, we have somebody like Io, a really, really good player, really good scorer, all-around player. And when Andre comes in, he just gives Io the opportunity, to get off the ball a little bit. And his ability to create plays, like I said, it's like no other. And he just comes in and gives us a whole different view of the game. Like Io is one of the guys that like he said just now, he wants to get the team going. I think that Dre does a really good job with that as well. So when we have both of them in, or either or, I think it's just a really good like combination of players on the court.
Okay, we'll go to Corey Kuffler. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Io, you've got 3 straight games now of 30 points, but you don't seem to force anything. You guys had a stretch there where you ran on a 14-0 run, and I think it's 7 or 8 points there. What do you do to just let the game come to you, but yet know you're ready to shoot and score when you need to?
It's really my teammates. My teammates believing in me, knowing that my teammates believe in me. I tell Kofi all the time, when the game starts, I want to feed you. I want to get you going. I want to get you easy baskets, get you some few. I got to easy dunk at the end of the half. I like seeing my teammates eat early on, because I know that I've been playing this league for it's my 3rd year, so I know pretty well where to get to my spots at. I know where I can score at, where I can if we need a basket, if I need a basket, I know how to get to my spot and do that and help the team win. But I just like coming out here and really being unselfish, letting the game come to me. But then, like I said, when it's time to win a game, when it's time to go home, I definitely have that instinct where I'm like, all right, these next 3 possessions, I'm going to make the right play, whatever it is, if it's scoring, making an assist to help our team win.
Okay, we'll go back to Joey Wagner for Kofi.
Hey, Kofi, you've got 6 double-doubles in 10 games this year. I mean, obviously the Big Ten is a challenge, but I guess what is the level of difficulty out there? Do you feel more comfortable out there? I guess just where are you at right now?
Yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable. This is my second year playing in the league right now, and basically experience. Experience is a good teacher, and just knowing that coming out there now, it's my second year. I know what to expect, and I know what's expected of me. Just being able to go in the court, let the game come to me, like Ayo said just now. Whenever I get the ball, make the right play. It's really I physically think that I'm one of the strongest, most imposing players in the country, and and when I get the ball, it's just about being slow, being deliberate with what I'm doing, getting to my spot. Like I said, getting to your spots. Like we've been playing for a while, and we know our spots, and we know where we can score from at a high level. So it's just about being composed, not rushing anything, and just making the right play.
Okay, and then we'll go back. Brandon, please. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Io, you talk about getting your teammates some easy looks and some open looks. So at what point do you kind of decide, I'm going to take this game over and then kind of go for 18 points? What flips for you?
It's just an instinct. It's just a feel of the game. Really, I played a mind game with them. Indiana. And all of my ball screens, they were kind of hard hedging, but they really was. I was coming off. I was making the right play about 6-7 times in a row. So their bigs started getting lazy. Their bigs started getting complacent. So when I was coming off, they were expecting me to just keep, making the right play, keep hitting the corner. So just playing a mind game with them. I knew that around the 9-minute, 10-minute mark, I knew that they were thinking, like, all right, when Io comes this ball screen, he's going to hit the corner, he's going to hit the shake. And then I saw Trace Jackson Davis. He kept just coming. He kept leaving right away. And then that's when I was able to get in there and get a floater, got my floater off. I got another layup, and I got some easy transition threes. So basically just playing a mind game with him, watch a lot of film on them. I knew when the game gets long, the duration of the game increases. Their tendencies start to get lazy. So I just wanted to attack on that, just pretty much knowing the scouting report.
I'm going to cut him off again. I'm just like he did me. He knows he could take over whenever he feels like it. Nobody could guard him. It's that simple. Nobody could guard him. He knows that whenever he feels like it, he could take over. That's it. Trying to be a nice guy. Yeah.
All right. Anything else for these guys? Doesn't sound like it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll have Coach here in just a moment.
Can you give me record again?
Who was that? Who just asked?
Rob McCauley. Thank you.
All right, please start lining up for questions for Brad when he gets here. All right, we'll get started here in just a moment. We're going to let Coach do his opening statement, then we'll open up for questions starting down the line. So go ahead, Coach.
Well, first of all, Merry Christmas to everyone, and hope they enjoyed their holiday. It was a different one for us, but practicing, and Santa did come to visit Ubben, so that was a positive thing. And then I'm really proud of our guys. This has been a very trying week, a very difficult week. 3 games since Sunday, with Christmas holiday sprinkled in, and 2 of those trips were back out east, and then we come home and face a top 10 defense. And Indiana was as good as advertised on that end, and give Archie and his staff a lot of credit. They were we were disrupted the first half, but as I told our guys, it's nice to be able to win games in a lot of different fashions. Obviously, the Penn State game was very fast-paced and up-tempo, and we had to come from behind. This one was a much lower possession game. Again, against one of the top defenses in the country. So glad we had the best player on the court in Iota Sumu at the end of the game. He was phenomenal. Kudos and hats off to, Georgie Bishanishvili, going back and playing big, really opened things up. It kind of opened the floodgates, so to speak. He made a great high-low pass. He had a 3. And then defensively, he gave us the energy that we needed. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Kofi. The light switch kind of flipped, and Kofi had 2 huge blocks and then was really dominant on the glass. But Indiana did a great job of keeping us out of transition. We missed 6 layups in the first half, some clean looks at 3s, and you have those nights. But again, as I told our guys, you got to win a lot of ways in this league, and I'm proud of our guys today.
Okay, we'll start with Harry, and then we'll go Joey and Tyler. So go ahead, Harry.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned winning games in different ways today. Obviously, a much more physical game than the game at Penn State. Was that part of the plan, or did that kind of just happen as the game developed? And then also, what can you say about this team's versatility and their ability to win at Penn State in a fast-paced game in Indiana today, and how that'll help them in the Big Ten season?
That's what I'm proud of. I think we're wired for that a little bit. I would be neglectful if I didn't mention, I think one of the big keys today was we played defense without fouling. I think there was 9 total fouls, and Indiana makes you play that way. And I loved our looks early. I loved our where we got the ball, and they made a couple plays. Trace made a couple blocks early, but we got some good looks, and the ball didn't go down. And you have those nights, but again, when you can play fast. We're going to continue to try to play as fast as we can play. We're very good at it when we do that. And yet, when it calls for it, you've got to find a way to win when that ball doesn't go in. And that's what we've been talking a lot about. And it's less mistakes, and it's great defense. And, I thought we did that tonight, holding them to 39%.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Joey, you're up. Tyler on deck.
Hey, Brad, you called a timeout there after Georgie hit a 3 to get you guys back within 2, and you really implored your team to rebound the ball and to close this out. And I guess what does it say about your team that they knew how to do that after a long week, and how to kind of dig deep and close it out?
Well, yeah, and I think that we talk about, offense will win you games, and defense will win you championships, and you got to close things out with your defense and your rebounding, and that was a big shot. It was a big momentum play. I wanted to make sure that our guys knew from a philosophy standpoint where exactly where we were at, and how we were going to win that game. And again, we did that. I give Franklin a lot of credit for them. He made our life miserable. Hit some hard shots, but again, they're well coached. They're a good basketball team, and I'm glad we had Io and Kofi, and then Georgie, a veteran. DeMonte steps up and make free throws and made a huge block, and when you have guys that step up and make plays, that helps.
What's it say about Georgie and his ability to understand his role? He's kind of worn a couple different hats his first 3 years, and he looks really settled into where he's at.
Been unbelievable. He's an energy guy like no other. He provides emotion. He provides a skill set. Most importantly, he provides a really intense and high-level basketball IQ that allows him to go play at different spots. And, early in the year with Jermaine out, we spent almost exclusively him guarding Kofi, playing at the 5. So we didn't play a lot with them together early. We've been working on that a lot more. And, today, we had to dial that up. We had to play with those two bigs. And, again, that's a compliment to Georgie and all the work he's put in.
Okay, we'll go to Tyler and then Gabby. Go ahead, Tyler.
Thanks, Gabe. Coach, you mentioned frequently how important it is for you guys to get out on transition, scoring in 7 seconds, and you were really effective in scoring that way in the first 3 league games, even at Rutgers. Today, you obviously struggled a little bit, even though you were really good in the defensive glass. Was that more a product of how IU was defending, or do you feel like you left some opportunities out there today?
Well, I think it's both. You look at their offensive rebounds; they had 3. They were sending the house back and trying to take that away. So a lot of that is attributable to the way they played. I'm disappointed we didn't have more offensive rebounds as poorly as we shot it. But again, we missed some easy opportunities that we normally don't miss. I think we were saying at halftime we missed 6 layups, and that affects and impacts you. And then we knew it would become a fewer possession game than what we've been playing. We knew that coming in.
Okay, Gabby, you're up, and Brandon on deck. Go ahead, Gabby.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Kofi and Georgie's defense was huge, but DeMonte's defense on Reese Thompson minimized the inside production. How important is it to have a guy like DeMonte when there's a bit of a size disadvantage at the 4 for you guys?
You all know how much I love DeMonte Williams and his versatility, and what people don't realize is DeMonte's lower half, his body, his legs, he is so incredibly strong. And he could leg press the building or squat it. I mean, he is very, very, very strong. So he doesn't get rooted out of his positioning. And when DeMonte does give up position, you throw in a 7-foot wingspan that he has, and he becomes a tough. It becomes a tough 2. It becomes a tough shot. So, IQ, strength, feel, experience, all those things allowed DeMonte to do a lot of different things. And then late in the game, we had him guarding perimeter players. So his versatility is vital to our success.
And then Adam Miller obviously hasn't been getting much to fall lately. For a guy who's used to controlling a game and being the lead guy, what do you think is missing for him right now?
Nothing. Growth. It's just, it's Adam's playing great and Adam's playing fine. And it's a continual growth process. He's been electric. He's going to be electric. He is today was just a day, didn't have anything to do with, we got comfortable in with a group of guys on that court, but he's going to have games where he's going to score 20 plus before this league's out. He's growing every day defensively. And, the biggest challenge for young guys is to continue to want to work. And Adam has so much pride. He's going to do that. And he's not going anywhere. He's a guy that's going to be in that lineup. And I have tremendous faith and confidence in him. And every time I shoot it, I think it's going in. And like we all know, he can really shoot it. So he'll have some big nights for us.
Okay, we'll go Brandon, then Matt Stevens on deck. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Brad. Io had 12 points in the first 30 minutes, I think, and then 18 in the last 10. Is there something you said to him to kind of get him going?
Yeah, be the best player on the court. Do what you do. And, it's one of the challenges that very similar to Penn State. I mean, closers close, and really good players. It doesn't matter what goes on the first 28, 30 minutes of the game. When the game's on the line, guys make plays, make shots, and you know, I've said it many times. I was the best guard in the country, and he proved that again today. And you know, you can double him, you can do whatever. He's going to make the right pass. He's going to make the right play, and you know, then give him a crease, and you know, he's going to make a layup or he's going to make free throws when he gets fouled.
Okay, we'll go on to Matt Stevens and Jeremy Werner on deck. Go ahead, Matt.
Brad, to ducktail off that question, I'm curious if you always thought Ayo had that in him long before he like signed with you, you know, 3+ years ago, or is that developed as it comes along as a college player?
Both. To say I knew that, I mean, I knew Ayo was a hard rocking dude, and I mean, I know how much his competitive spirit is. You know, sometimes guys wither, and they don't want those moments. Because it's ultimately all about dealing with adversity. And, you know, let's not forget, Ayo was once in a place as a freshman that was not really pretty. I mean, I still remember the game in Chicago where he missed 9 layups. But instead of that bothering him, that dude never flinched. And I mean, his mindset is so tough, and it was like, okay, I had a bad game. How do I get better? And I didn't do this. How do I get better? And it's continual. And now when you put guys in that role, and they do have success, now they think they're invincible.
Okay, we'll go to Jeremy Werner. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey, Brad, just to follow up to Joey's question about Georgie, he's always had energy, but you know, last year it seemed to work against him at times. What do you think is the key to him channeling that positively this year?
Just said it. It's channeled in the right direction. It's channeled in a positive action and format that is conducive to him being the best basketball player and us being the best basketball team. And you know, when Georgie's in that frame of mind and in that minds, I mean, he thinks he's the best player on the court, and he might be in a lot of cases. And you know, I'm not afraid to go to him. And I have so much respect for Georgie on a lot of facets, because one, very few players in America have gone through what that young man's gone through with COVID and not being home. And secondly, what he's done to continually work on his game and his body is phenomenal. So I have a tremendous amount of respect and trust in him.
And you mentioned his defense and on Trace Jackson Davis today, along with Kofi. How has he taken a step defensively, have you seen?
He understands. He's always been a great defender when guys didn't have the ball. His positioning's been impeccable. He came in with that. You know, he's very seldom, you know, if you watch Georgie, very seldom ever gets screened. It's always because he's in the right position. You know, his problem has been, you know, as a freshman was guarding the ball. And, you know, he was just light. He wasn't strong enough yet. And, you know, as most freshmen do, they struggle with strength. Well, now he's pretty strong. And, you know, he's a great guy at moving his wall. He's not a guy that plays vertically exceptionally well, but he's a guy that just moves and uses his lower half and his strength. And, again, no one lives in the weight room more than Georgie.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go Scott Ritchie, then Brett Behrens, and then Tyler Cottingham. Go ahead, Scott.
Right. I mean, it just seems to me that Andre has just a different rhythm to the way he moves, maybe to the way he plays the game. How advantageous has that been, maybe off the bench, and including it to the game today, where maybe he gave you that spark early?
There was no doubt he did early today. He impacted the game at Penn State as well. You know, I think that it's I stood on the baseline yesterday, and he made a move, and we're like, it was kind of a hard hedge. We knew they were going to hard hedge, and he kind of wrapped it around his back between his legs at the same time, threw a hard hedge, and then threw a behind the back pass to Kofi for a layup. And I'm standing there next to Trent Frazier, and Trent goes, "Coach, you just can't coach that." And you're right, you don't. And but he's got a vision, he's got an understanding. If you ever watch him do a ball handling routine, it's one of the coolest things ever, because he does it with the tennis ball and a real ball, and But he's just got a unique gift that way. And he does impact the game. And now his defense is getting better. I'm really proud of him today because one of the things that have been very challenging for young guys is communication on the defensive side. And now he's starting to echo calls and understand and it's one reason I left him out there a long time today in the second half was he was making defensive calls of their plays coming and barking at what was guys at what was coming. And that's when you're really dialed into the scouting report. That's a lot of maturity on his part to do that.
Brett, do you just sit back and watch Io a little bit and admire him at some points when he's taking over a game like that? Understanding you're still coaching, obviously, but do you ever just take a moment and enjoy him in that sense?
I really do it when it's in film, but no, I told him coming out of timeout, I said, it's time to be you. It's time to be the best player on the court and close this thing out. And that usually means him making the right play or the right basket. He's done that so many times, and it's unique when you've coached a Michael Beasley or you've coached a Bill Walker or you've coached a Juwan Evans or a Thomas Walkup. It's what those guys do. And to say you ever get tired of seeing it, you don't. But again, that was turned a real average first 24 minutes, 26 minutes, 28 minutes, in my opinion, into what was a terrific game because he does what he does.
Brad, this is going to be the last time we're going to talk to you in 2020. If you can, how do you even sum up what this year has been like and what you've seen from your club so far this year going into the turn of the calendar?
Well, I can't tell you how proud I am. And this has been obviously, I'm stating the obvious, like none other. But for a group of guys to be as committed, for Georgie Bashanishvili to never get to go home. And Benjamin was in the same boat. Benjamin had a family in Bloomington of a football player that was a friend that kind of took him in. Georgie Bashanishvili stood on this campus by himself the entire time of COVID. And you think about that as a 20-year-old or 21-year-old, what that would be like. You think about what college age students do, and they don't know anybody. They don't know anybody on our campus. These guys don't know anybody because they don't go to class. They don't meet people. They don't get to interact with professors. They don't get to interact with adults. They don't get to interact with their counterparts. And to sacrifice and commit to that for a sport that they love, and literally they come to Ubben, they train, they work out, we feed them, and they go back to their apartments. And to say that I'm not proud, man, that would be. I'm so proud. I mean, I'm excited for 21 and hopefully the vaccine, and we get to move back. And I'm proud of our team for our growth and development. We knew we were going to play a very, very hard schedule. I love our freshmen and how they're developing and the experience they've had. So 2020 has been a unique experience, but one of the most gratifying in a lot of ways for me personally and for me as a coach.
Okay, we'll go Tyler and then Matt Stevens to wrap it up. Go ahead, Tyler.
Thanks, KB. Hey, Coach, there was a couple of possessions in the second half on defense where Kofi back-to-back where he made the block shot and was able to get the rebound off of those block shots. I'm just curious, is that a coachable skill or is that something just kind of a fortunate bounce thing?
Yeah, that's a motor thing. And, that's one of the things we keep challenging Kofi with constantly is that energy. And I hope that's a big sign of growth for Kof because he was flat today. He was flat. He doesn't have his usual pep and his bounce. And he's a heavy-legged guy, and there's no doubt about that. 3 games in a week and bouncing around and all over the country and the travel. But man, he flipped a switch. That was tremendous maturity and growth on his part. And he makes 2 great blocks that change the game, gets the rebounds, ends up with 15. Was a dominant performance on the defensive end in the last 12 minutes by him.
Okay, and we'll finish up with Matt Stevens.